How are you? How are things? How because okay, so um you know how sometimes when I do this work, I don't remember the details, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really funny. We did the work like it's a couple of days ago, and I'm completely blank about what we did. Now, once you start telling me the your experience, I will remember again, I think. Uh, and I refrained myself from looking at my notes because I thought, you know what, then I can just hear how you experienced it instead of guiding the conversation. So how are you? How are you now? Let's start with that.
Today is a bit rough, but I think it's also because of the weather. But after our session and yesterday, I felt so relieved. There was a huge shift in my system. And I can also imagine that today, it's integrating because so much has shifted. So I guess it's a normal process what's going on today in my energy field as well. I could really feel right after our session how much load left me, because it was related to my grandfather, right? Because I took his backpack, so to say, and his visibility and his vulnerability. And when I gave that back to him, it was like I was like, oh my God, I would like to start immediately, and I don't even understand anymore what's holding me back, So, um,
Amazing.
yeah, I mean, it was really like magic. It was like blown away as very powerful. But I also must say, I mean, I know you, and I know that there was much more to the work than just the constellation, the problem constellation. So I could really feel the healing process, which really went very, very deep on a very deep level. And I guess it's also thanks to your skills in general that this was possible, because I mean, I've done other family constellations and it was never so deep and so intense.
It's very funny that you feel that the like the healing because I don't do that consciously, as you know.
Yeah,
I'm really
it's
focused on the constellation itself and actually not doing the but yeah, it happens sort of.
it's you, it's just you and your energy, and whatever happens. But yeah, it was like really like a veil taken away from me, and oh, why didn't I see that early? And for me, it's actually very, very clear.
Yeah, I love that. What opened up is that you are able to look at that as for what it is, right? Okay. And of course, your question, now I remember, your question was, am I to build a spiritual business? Is that my soul path, right? And so this sounds like a pretty powerful synchronicity that happened. Uh, that happened, sort of, and that realization is also very, very, very uh, deep. Let's say.
And I remember clearly your words because you said in 6 weeks or so you will have a huge flashback and you will doubt yourself extremely. And I can see that happening, of course, as well, because it's a normal process. But at the moment, I really see that mm, it's really just my fear blocking me, and um, I also had yesterday an interesting conversation with my boyfriend, and he also is thinking about starting his own business with wood things and so on. And um, so we both have a lot of energy in the same direction. I mean, it's different, but similar direction. So that's really funny. So yeah, it was really, yeah, it's like Yeah, I'm very happy that I have vacation now for a few days. I will really start writing my books and also work on my visibility and, on my spiritual proposals or offers. And the universe is giving me with that. I mean, and I just didn't see it, but it was so obvious. I mean, I have so much freedom and liberty, and so I
I am
can.
so excited because I really think you have the way your gifts work, you have such a soft touch with people and such a beautiful way of conveying the messages that spirit has. And with your books as well, I can only imagine. Of course, I never read your book, but I do hope you publish it. So Um, but I can only imagine just the way when you do a reading, and I've seen you do readings, and then the way you talk to people and deliver that message, and how people respond to that message, you really seem to touch them in the heart. So I can only imagine that with your books, you have that same tone and you that same you know the words that you put in there, that they are really hitting people in the heart. And so I'm super excited that you're gonna move forward with doing this work, because I think it's if you can have such an impact on people, I think it's what you at least are meant to do, at least part-time, until you can live off it, let's say.
Yeah, that would be my biggest wish, that I can touch the people who are meant to read the stories very deeply in their hearts and whatever they need to get out of it. So I just really want to deliver and they can take what's meant for them to be there.
Hmm. So the constellation, did you have at some point in the constellation, was there one biggest insight of or one thing that impacted you the most?
I mean, I could really feel it in my body, at some point. There were points where I had, where I really felt it very intense in my body. I could really feel sometimes even like throwing up or almost crying, which is for me very unusual. But I could feel it in my body, and that helped me to realize the truth behind it. So I could really see how real it is. So that there really is something behind it.
Hmm.
And I could feel the shift in my body. Like in the end, I could really feel how that part, which I felt like bleeding or open wound, was closing and healing. And I could feel how I was complete. It felt like complete or healed, like a huge, huge wound, which, yeah, was healed in the end. I mean, only after, like, I mean, I think the constellation itself, I don't know, was maybe 45 minutes. And I mean, so
Hmm.
quickly, there was such a huge wound healed, or, I mean, that was magical.
Thank you. I'm really excited to hear and to see how this is going to how this is going to affect, let's say, your future, and and how things are now will go in your development of your business and of your books. Um, any particular action that you're going to take now?
Um, well, we worked on, in my case, it was like, the future task was stepping into the visibility and then to reach my goal. So I will really work on my offerings and put it into a clear, probably paper or website or whatever. I will see. And then to really, to work on the visibility part, so that people can see the offer, and if it's meant for them to be, they can reach out, and if not, I'm fine, because I'm not depending on it, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
And I would really like to offer my help when someone needs it or wants it in like one-on-one readings. And but I also want to really focus on writing the books and then publish them. And yeah, because I think this is really what I'm supposed to do. Because interestingly, my grandfather showed up in the constellation. He was also the one who encouraged me to write when I was 5, you know. So
Really?
yeah, so I wrote stories back, or when I don't know, maybe when I was 7, when I could write, of course. But I wrote already back then little stories, and he would read it, and I can still see him sitting there with his glasses, and he was very excited like a little boy, and he encouraged me and he even paid me a little bit money. I mean, just as a sign, you know. So, but it was his way to encourage, and that he would like to read more, you know. So that's very interesting. You know, in the end, it all comes together. It's like a circle.
Yeah. Huh, beautiful. Nice. Well, thank you. And thank you for doing this interview, by the way, as well. I'm excited. I'm excited.
But this
I
is really, Carolina. I mean, like you said, I mean, this whole program is already magical unfolding for you. I mean, I really think that this is what the world needs. I mean, for me, it's like, it's so powerful. I mean, the work you provide, I mean, this is so huge and transformational. I mean, it's so, I mean, really, I mean, I was looking exactly for what you offer, and then there you are.
funny how that synchronicity came up. I literally decided to launch this like four days before you contacted me about it.
That's so incredible. And I was really thinking, I should have really asked Carolina, but then something, you know, pushed me and said, yeah, we'll just see what happens, you know.
Yes, it's amazing how that's how well synchronicity and for me it was also really a confirmation that what I'm developing is needed and is is kind of my path, right?
Yeah.
Um, it really feels like okay, I I developed this program and it was so easy to develop it, of course, because I speak from my own experience. What are my struggles as a psychic medium? What were my struggles growing up as a psychic medium and everybody thinking you're scary? um, you know, all those and when I, of course, when I started building my business, I had visibility on what I, you know, how am I going to make this world known, because I was judged so much for it. And um, are my powers good enough? Am I clear enough in my readings? And all those fears, they each and every one of them came up during building my business. And so when I decided to start this program to strengthen and stabilize my gifts, because I had my gifts were like this, and it always had to do with a personal thing, with something in my past, or a generational trauma, or the rejection that I felt, or it always had to do with something like that, right?
Hmm.
And the moment I decided, okay, this is my program, I could just tap from my own experience. So what is needed? What is really needed for energy workers and light workers and mediums and psychics to heal so that they can serve more people? And it was like, I think that within an hour, I had my entire list. Okay, this is what everybody struggles with. This is how I can help them. And and it was, but it just almost like channeling it out.
Hmm.
And it went so fast. Well, and then I started putting it on that website, of course, and then and you didn't even know about this, and then you spontaneously you contacted me spontaneously. Uh, but there's 4 other people by now, and so this is that's
They show
I,
up without even you publishing it.
they show up without me publishing it because the website is not live yet. So nobody actually knows about this.
But
But
imagine what
for
happens.
people that absolutely have no connection to each other, showed up spontaneously in a week and a half time to ask me, hey, I'm struggling with my abilities and I'm struggling with my spiritual business. I'm struggling with, can you support me in that? And I'm like, apparently, just, and maybe it comes in five, right? Apparently, my five letters of rejection, in my case, there are five people that say, I need your help. Get me. So it's, it's like, okay, apparently I'm meant to do this, and the universe really is like showing me, okay, now that you made that decision, here you go, here, and to make sure that I continue with it, I guess. So yeah.
Thank you so, so much that you did that work with me. It's so, I mean, it's so precious. It means really so much for me. Thank you so, so much.
You are so, so welcome. I'm happy I could support.
Yeah, thank you so much for being you.